mornings. Coach, man, listen, I'm gonna do your meal plan, but on the weekends, I like to enjoy myself a little bit. They like to, get out with their family. Sometimes they go to different networking events and different conferences with their business or in their career. And so they're not in a position to be able to just eat like a bodybuilder. They're not in a position to be eating chicken and broccoli on the weekends. And most times they want to enjoy themselves. You know what I'm saying? They grind it during the week. And so they look forward to being able to eat a little bit more on the weekends. Okay. And so here's to be able to lose weight and not gain the weight back because of the weekends. Okay. Couple of things. What I see most folks do when the weekend comes around, it's like they just forget about their whole meal plan. They forget that they was eating a certain amount of calories. They forgot that they were eating certain types of foods. Then on the weekends, they're eating, burgers, pizza, pancakes. They're relaxing, they're kicking back a little bit, right? And so here's the thing. When you're a high achiever, when you're a high performer, you can't fall too far off the spectrum. Because when Monday come around, if you ate junk food the whole weekend, you're gonna feel tired. It's not just gonna affect your weight, it's gonna affect your energy, your mental bandwidth. And it's like you don't really feel like you done hit your stride. Cause I know I felt like this at times before I started understanding these things. You really don't feel like you hit your stride until you hit like Tuesday or Wednesday. And by that time, the week almost over. So instead, you can't fall completely off the game plan. So here are a couple of different things. Number one, the quality of the food that you eat matters, okay? You still want to eat quality. Like today is Saturday. And so what am I starting my morning off with? I'm starting it off with some type of fibrous fruit, all right? I'm eating some type of fruits that have seeds in them. Super low calories. It's not gonna have you feeling, having all brain fog and things like that. I'm gonna eat bigger meals later on today, but I'm gonna start my morning off really light. I'm not gonna have a breakfast. It's gonna be more like a breakfast snack type. You know what I'm saying? That way you have more grace to eat bigger meals for brunch and dinner, okay? But the quality of the food that you eat before brunch and dinner, it has to be good quality, okay? So fruits, and then you wanna always have some type of protein. I'm always showing them, hey, look, every meal has to have protein in it, man. All right. Now during the week, because you're really locked in, you're gonna really you're gonna pay attention and measure out your food a little bit more. Okay. But on the weekends, because we tend to eat out, we go to restaurants and things like that, the conferences or whatever, we're not gonna be as in control of the foods that we're eating. Okay. And so it's gonna be hard to hit a specific protein goal on the weekends, okay? And so don't beat yourself up about that. What I teach my coaching class is this: we still want to be mindful around how much we're eating on the weekends. We don't have to obsess over protein intake or macros, but we still want to know, okay, I'm still within a certain calorie intake that I need to be in to lose weight, okay? And so you still have to be mindful around calorie intake, but also the quality of the foods that you eat, okay? And so back to the protein. I got this right here. I got me a little protein yogurt. This one is Oikos. There's other ones out there. You don't have to do this. I think they have like Ratio and a couple of other ones. So whenever I get tired of just eating this, because this is not enough protein. It's only like 15 grams of protein in here, y'all, okay? And so I think it's a little glare. Only 15 grams of protein. And so how do I bump the protein intake up? I'll add a scoop of whey protein in here, okay? Just one little scoop of whey protein is 25 grams of protein. From this one, it's 25 grams of protein. And so it's gonna be 40 grams of protein total. So I'm getting 40 grams of protein from these two, all right? And then I'm getting some fibrous carbs from this, all right? So I'm not eating no big ass waffle, no bagels, no croissants. I'm not doing that. That's no good, okay? This right here, keep me lean, having good mental energy. This is how you want to eat. Like it better than Chobani. I haven't tried Chobani before, but yeah, Oikos has been my go-to. I love Oikos. And then if I want a heavier breakfast, If I want a heavier breakfast, I add a little bit of healthy fats in there. Okay, this is chopped walnuts. And so I'll do walnuts with this whole meal right here. Fruit, I'm not gonna eat all of this, you know. Then I got my protein right here. Then I have my healthy fats right here, all right? Super light breakfast. This is how you start your mornings on the weekends. Super light. I'm not saying that you have to eat this exactly, but you wanna start it off super lean. And so that way, the other two meals can be heavier. You can have bigger meals. Instead of doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the weekends, let's do a snack for breakfast and then do brunch and do dinner. What does this do? This gives you more cushion to be able to eat bigger meals, okay? Because most times on the weekend, what we want to do anyway, we want to eat bigger meals. You want to eat a burger. You want to eat tacos. You want to eat pasta. You want to eat pizza with your family. You know what I'm saying? But if you're eating your 3 main meals still, that's going to be way too much calories. You don't need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is like a snack what I just showed y'all. All right, this is like 300-400 calories. And so now I can have brunch and dinner, and both of those meals can easily be 700-800 calories. You see what I'm saying? This, and for a guy. For a woman, you know, your meals might need to be a little bit less, depending on where you are, what stage you in your weight loss journey. You can't just be overeating, because yeah, that's big ass stomach behavior. You won't lose the weight. But here's why I say you still want to be mindful with the type of foods that you eat, even on the weekends, because you don't want to lose the momentum that you had from the previous week. A common pattern that I see among a lot of clients who join my coaching program, I want to see if I can set this up a little bit better so y'all can see the food. There we go. A common pattern that I see among a lot of people who join my coaching program, they do well during the week. Weekend comes around, they lose all that momentum. I want y'all to think of this as like a train. And I don't see trains that often anymore. I stay in the city. But if you ever seen a train, it starts off extremely slow. And then it has to gain the momentum and it starts going faster, right? And then it makes it really, really hard to lose that momentum. But once you start slowing down, it's gonna be hard to gain momentum again, okay? And so this is why we don't wanna fall completely off on the weekends and just binge eat. Because you lose the momentum and you gotta like use even more energy just to get yourself back going again. Versus being mindful with the foods that you're eating, being a little bit strategic with how many meals you're eating during the weekends. Instead of eating 3 big meals, you know, instead of doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just do a snack, brunch, and dinner, okay? That's gonna help you stay within a certain calorie intake on a daily basis throughout the weekends. And then when Monday comes back around, you go back to your normal routine. These are the things I teach my coaching classes, so that way, once they go into Monday, they still got energy. They're not feeling like, oh, man, I gotta get back in the zone again. They stay ready so they don't have to get ready. You see what I'm saying? And so this is how you wanna start eating if you wanna lose weight and not have to worry about gaining it back because of the weekends, okay? You have structure throughout the week. You have a certain way of eating throughout the week. You know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe 1 or 2 snacks. And then on the weekends, brunch and dinner. And in some cases, you could fast. Like let's say this meal right here, let's say I didn't want to eat this because, let's say I had a bigger meal for dinner on Friday. Sometimes I wouldn't even eat this. And so I would just fast and I would just do brunch and dinner on a Saturday. Brunch and dinner on a Sunday. And if I felt the need to eat something like a snack, then I would do that. But you know, it gives you more cushion to eat bigger meals if you don't have that snack. Because, like I said, this right here, 300-400 calories. And so, if I don't want to eat these 300-400 calories in this snack, I can save these 300-400 calories for my meals. And so that way I can have an even bigger brunch. I can have an even bigger dinner. This is how you do it, guys. This is how you do it, man. All right? I have coaching clients dropping 30, 40, 35 pounds in just 3 months, 40 to 60 pounds in 6 months. And a lot of it comes from nutrition. Most folks think it's all about working out. Most folks think it's all about doing tons of cardio, hitting the gym 7 days a week. When you understand how to eat the right way, guys, this is how you make losing weight effortless. You're not working hard because we got to eat on a daily and weekly basis anyway. And so if you improve your eating habits and the quality of the foods that you're eating, the portions of the foods that you're eating, this is how you start losing weight without being in the gym like a bodybuilder while still being able to enjoy yourself, okay, during the week and during the weekends, okay? But hopefully y'all found this helpful. If y'all have questions, y'all can drop them down below. What's up, Karen? Caleb, what's going on? I see a couple of y'all. I think I seen Angela. What's going on? And then also, make sure you staying hydrated. If you're not staying hydrated throughout the weekend, it's gonna make you have cravings. You're gonna have cravings to want to eat more food. You're gonna have bigger meals because you're dehydrated. If you're feeling dehydrated, of course, you're gonna lack the willpower to eat the foods that you should be eating. Of course, you're gonna have the cravings to want to eat the chips or the trail mix or just the finger food more frequently because you're dehydrated. So make sure you stay hydrated also. All right. Yeah. I think that's all I got for y'all today. So I'm about to eat mine, and I'm about to go get me some cold brew. I'm out of cold brew, man. And that's one more thing. Staying prepared. In this video, I'm live. I'm not prepared. I drank a little bit of extra cold brew yesterday that would have lasted me to today and tomorrow, but I drank it all yesterday. I drank the rest of it early. And so the same way people prepare for the week with their meals, you also want to prepare for the weekend. So have something available in your refrigerator, in your pantry. And so that way you're not like, damn, we don't have nothing in the house. I guess we got to go eat some fast food. And what happens when you eat fast food? You gain weight because it's too many calories, okay? Yeah, so preparation is key. That's when I did a testimonial video with one of our clients named Goldie. And Goldie, she dropped 30 pounds in 3 months. And when we did that interview, you can go to my playlist and you can see her name. Like Goldie dropped like 30 pounds, 3 months. And one of the things she talked about that really helped her was preparation. Extremely busy work life. Her and her husband Lance, they're taking care of their family, their kids, got kids in college. And so she was like, one of the biggest things that helped her accomplish that goal was just preparing ahead of time. And, just like anything, guys, if you're not preparing, that shows you how much you really care. Because you're not preparing. You're not putting much time into, like, the preparation process to get certain things done, And so if you truly, genuinely want to look better, you want to feel better, you want to perform high, at a high level in your career, you want to perform at a high level in your social life and with your family, you got to make it you got to be intentional with preparing ahead of time with the foods that you're eating, knowing what you're going to eat, having things in the house already. What else? Plugging when you're going to work out on your calendar. That's preparation. The people who just be like, yeah, I'm going to work out sometime this week. Those are people who struggle. Those are people who have a hard time losing weight for years. Like, I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I got people that been following me for years on social media, still struggling with their weight. Yeah, man, I still got to get this stomach off at some point, man. It look like a basketball. I'm telling you, you start preparing ahead of time, you start developing some structure, being intentional, and making this thing a priority. You got to make your health and your body a priority the same way you make your career and your family a priority. Because if you pour it into everybody else, but you're not pouring into yourself, what's that got you so far in your life? Where's that gotten you to? How much better could your life be? How much better will your life be if you have more energy? You start pouring into yourself with the type of foods that you're eating. You start pouring into yourself with the type of workouts that you're doing. 3-4 days a week. You don't have to do it like a bodybuilder, guys. All right? Well, other than that, guys, I'm out of here. I don't want these lives to be no more than about 10-15 minutes. But if y'all got questions, you can drop them down in the comments below, and I'll be back. Let's get it.